Don't strippers make money? That's right. I'm breaking out season 2 of the Outlaw Feminist, My Stripperific Life. And the crowd goes wild. Don't go away or you'll miss my super strippery nonsense.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees.
Welcome back, my fellow Americans, to my autobiographical YouTube channel, The Outlaw Feminist. I'm your storyteller, Blue, and this is where I tell all my business. Since I kind of got this YouTube thing down, I thought I'd roll out season 2, My Stripperific Life. But don't you all worry, I'll continue to tell my Life with Outlaw Biker stories because that one's just ramping up. As a reminder, my YouTube channel is and will always be free as I am donating my interesting American story to American history. By telling my story here on YouTube, I am hoping to find a person or the right people to help me stop state-sanctioned sex trafficking in Oregon. I'm not here hustling for myself. I'm here hustling for women that are dying in the name of capitalism and state revenue. So, if I promise to get off my soapbox, will you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button? And if you know somebody else that likes chick noises that smell like Portland strip clubs and strippers, share this video series with them. Now kick back in your best hazmat suit because we're about to dodge some STDs here in Season 2, Episode 1 of The Outlaw Feminist, My Stripperific Life. Don't strippers make money? So it was November 21st, 2002, and I couldn't put it off anymore. I still had 2 kids to get through this mess. Dennis refused to work, so I was going to have to bite the bullet and do this. I was going to be a goddamn stripper at the age of 35. The irony here is hysterical. I had a hookup at the Palace Gentlemen's Club. It's deepish East County, Portland. I took this exquisitely awkward opportunity to break into this career so that I could pay my rent that was coming due the next week. Why exquisitely awkward, you ask? Welp. The Palace Gentlemen's Club is located in the David Douglas School District where I lived with my sons. The David Douglas School District is also where my dad, 221%er, rest in peace, Dad, my aunt, 2 of my cousins, my mom's best friend, and for a time my brother and I attended school. And just 4 years earlier, I had been known as Mrs. Coy, the mean lady in the high school counseling office, for about 6 years. And all 5 of my sons, my sister, my granny, and several shirt-tail relatives attended school in the neighboring school district, Park Rose. And I graduated most of my sons from Park Rose. And their dad, Dennis Coy, had been the David Douglas School District's alternative campus security guard, and he was in charge of Park Rose School District's wrestling program, and he was the head coach of the Park Rose High School wrestling team. So yeah, I was going to run into people that I knew. And for sure, my maniac ex-husband, Dennis Coy, and my kids were going to find out what I was doing and where I was working. Brilliant. Fun fact, Tanya Harding attended David Douglas High School. She's about 2 years younger than me. So let's take a minute to talk about Portland strippers back then, about 20 years ago. Portland, Oregon, where our motto is, if you're a white woman and willing to bend over naked for $1, we'll find a place for you to do it. Come to find out, my audition was more to make sure that I'd get naked and less about my super alluring moves. That makes sense. That's right. Being a professional stripper in Portland was not exclusively afforded to talented, young, independent, well-put-together women with great bodies and of all colors. Nope. I found that most of these girls had no business even being strippers. It was kind of like a cornucopia of not ugly, but a little bit dumpy and pretty talentless girls with dancer drivers and bar tabs. I'm not saying all of them were like this, but wow. And I'll tell you one thing, every single one of them were on some sort of state assistance. My first Saturday night at the Palace, while doing something spray or eyeliner related in the dressing room, I was startled by Nadia's shrieking, "I finally broke a bill this week!" She was a tiny, loud, mousy-looking 23-year-old with hairy armpits and hairy legs, which is a whole thing in Portland. I thought, $1,000, that's not too bad. I only had $350, but I was brand new and big and massive, and she had been dancing for several years. The other girls were giddy with congratulatory hugs. A few not-so-quiet moments later, Nadia corrected herself. "Oops, I counted wrong. I only have $98. Does anybody have $2 so I can have a bill?" "You mean a bill is $100? I quickly did the potential maths on this stripper thing and blurted out, "You're happy with $100? Don't strippers make money?" My bitter query punched through the thick olfactory assault of the dressing room. Fun fact, stripper dressing rooms are a nauseating combination of strawberries, shame, vanilla, and despair. I was a big bitch, so none of them pudgy or emaciated girls was going to say shit to me. After a few stinky moments, we all stopped staring at each other confused and went about our strippery business. I heard one of the littler girls say to Nadia, "She's mean." I stomped over by them, over their shoulders, and said, "You're poor." So now let's talk about Portland's strip club culture. So one of the first things that I learned about my new industry were that strip clubs were neighborhood bars, which made sense because in Oregon, we put our strip clubs in neighborhoods. Strip clubs have always been a dubious part of Portland's fabric for reasons that I touched on in my Life with Outlaw Bikers, Mongols Come to Town. Portland Metro bar owners just threw up poles to help push alcohol sales. Cost them nothing except some tubular brass and some lumber. And as you will remember, strip clubs are not zoned in Oregon any more than a Barnes & Noble would be. They are often just up in neighborhoods near schools and other retail locations. Accordingly, dudes just hung out in their neighborhood strip club close to their home. Really, it was less about the girls and entertainment and tipping and more about hanging out in a very, very relaxed environment till about 2:30 each night while getting their egos stroked by half-naked chicks. And of course, always trying to date all the dancers or a dancer or any dancer. The girls love me there. I keep them company when they're bored at work. They like me so much they don't even ask me to tip, which is code for they don't even bother anymore. Honestly, though, as long as you're not a complete dick, those girls will act like drinky girls all night long and donate their time and energy to you. So loitering in strip clubs, that's a whole thing in Portland. I bring this up because it relates to a story that sticks out in my head. A few weeks into my dancing career, while driving home one morning and stopped at a red light, I look over to notice a dude that I had seen in the strip club hours before. He was one of those loitery dudes. It kind of surprised me because I had seen him hours before and it was now 3:45. I didn't think too much about it though. I just figured that he was at another neighborhood strip club or bar and he was driving home and he lived in the neighborhood like me. I pulled into my driveway and parked my car. It took me a few minutes to gather all my strippery stuff, and when I looked up I could see a figure approaching my car through the headlights behind me. It was that creepy loitery dude. What the I slammed my locks down and laid on the horn, staring at him through my driver's side door. He was demanding that I open my car door. Just moments later, my 60-pound Heinzel Colby pit bull, Scooby, bolted out of my apartment door, followed by my 3 youngest sons, all wielding skateboards and baseball bats. Homeboy made it to his car just in time as the demolition team started beating his vehicle with their sports equipment. "You followed the wrong bitch home, motherfucker. You're gonna die." He peeled out in reverse onto the street and took off, suffering damage the entire way. "Get the fuck out of here. Come back and we'll kill you." my wishful stalker narrowly escaped the coy boys with only a broken headlight and multiple dents to his hood, back quarter panel, and his door. The boys and the dog walked back up the driveway towards the house, Skylar holding up a rearview mirror as a trophy. After the boys lectured me about paying attention to my surroundings, we all laughed about it and went to bed. They may not have liked me, but they would never pass up an opportunity to roll on a motherfucker, if you know what I mean. Reflecting back, this was the first time that I felt fear for somebody outside my family. This was going to be a whole new learning opportunity for me. So that's it for my first episode of Season 2, My Stripperific Life, here on the Outlaw Feminist. Go down on my comments and let me know what you think about this new series and the shorter format. Also, if you're feeling froggy, share your experiences, if you have any, about the industry down in the comments as well. Please keep it not rapey. No rapey. No rapey. And if you like this episode and you're interested in hearing more stories about my life as a stripper and my life with outlaw bikers, please hit the subscribe-y thingy. Until I drop my next story, please remember that we are all Americans. Be safe and baby, be dangerous.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's